Good afternoon, Jaden. And congratulations on being awarded the 2021 KBH Facilitator Award from the CPA Western School of Business.
Thanks, Sam.
Okay, I have a few questions for you, and we're going to start off with this one. What advice do you have for junior or aspiring accounting educators?
So I think the first thing is to just not give up. I remember when I first wanted to do it, and I'm sure it's still very much the same, that it was very competitive to get in and there wasn't always openings. So I found the spot on the CPA Alberta or Western School of Business website where you could apply for the job, and I bookmarked it and I literally checked it every single day for probably 5 to 6 months, just waiting for something to open up because I really wanted to do it. Right from the get-go, it's something I wanted to get involved in, but it took time. It took a long time to get in there. And it was worth it, absolutely. So I think that's the first thing, is just don't quit, don't give up, keep working towards it. And the second thing is to think outside the box a little bit. For example, yes, I got an opportunity to teach as a session leader with CPA, but I also had the opportunity to teach at the university, in the University of Lethbridge. I drafted up a resume, I walked to the university, found some old profs and started asking around, found the person I needed to talk to, and I was able to get an opportunity to teach there as a sessional instructor, which was also a great opportunity that I really enjoyed.
Thank you. Jaden, could you tell me about your journey to attain your CPA? And what does it look like since then? What about your post-designation professional journey?
Yeah, so my journey is a little unorthodox, I think. A lot of people that I know tend to find one place that they work at, and then they will stay there and work there for their career, at least until they get their designation, and then they look elsewhere. From the time I finished school until I got my designation, I've had 3 jobs. I hopped around from a very small accounting firm to one of the multinational ones, down to a mid-sized accounting firm local to the city I was at. So I jumped around quite a bit, which was an adventure in its own, as well as doing the program. And while I was in the middle of the CPA program, we had our first kid as well. So it was a lot of work, very crazy, very busy, but really it's good. It's a good program. It takes a lot of time and effort. There's no doubt about it. I was one of those weird people who did the 2 elective modules at the same time as well. So I took tax and audit at the same time. That was a back-to-back exam. I think one was one day, the next one right after that, the very next day. So don't necessarily recommend it. It definitely took a lot, but it was an adventure. Since I got my designation, I started my own accounting firm. I then joined one of my old employers. I actually went back and bought in as a partner. I got into specialized tax, and then I recently left that to be a CFO for a construction company. So I've been kind of all over the map. Definitely a lot of that comes down to relationships, which you'll build with your clients, and some relationships that I built through the CPA program itself, and being a candidate, going to courses. I've built relationships there that I still have today. So a lot of that, it's helped with my crazy journey.
Fabulous. So we touched on this a little bit, or a lot of it actually, but maybe we could elaborate just a little bit. So I'm curious as to how you came to start working with CPAWSB. And so you had mentioned that you had bookmarked the website, and I know the one that you're referring to, it's the contractors opportunities. And there are oftentimes a number of opportunities. So exam evaluator, exam contractor, session leader, online facilitator, and sometimes a CPA capstone volunteer panelist, as well as a couple other opportunities that may come up there. So in bookmarking the website, which one was the first one that you applied to, and how did that kind of lead to you right now as an award-winning educator for CPAWSB?
So I was 100% all in on session leader. I know myself, and I know that I don't like marking. And doing the cases and marking and reviewing those, I struggle with that personally. Definitely a challenge that I had through the program is the case writing. I'm sure lots of candidates have that challenge, but I knew right away I wanted to be the session leader. I wanted to run the workshops because I personally love them. I had some great facilitators and ones who have happened to run into since then, and they still stand out to me as great examples of good accountants. And the weekends were great. It was intensive, I think 16 hours worth of coursework. It was busy, but I came away feeling like I could do this, like I could succeed. I came away more knowledgeable, and I wanted to be a part of that. And I know as well that, again, I don't like the whole homework side of it and the case marking side of it. I struggle with that. But teaching and guiding and answering questions in a live setting, that's something that personally I really enjoy. And so that's why again, right away, I knew I was going to be all in on session leader, and that's what I went for. And that's what I kept an eye out for. Again, took a while to get that position, but I'm really glad that I kept working for it. And as far as how that's helped me to get to where I am and to having won the award, I think a lot of this comes down to the fact that I love doing it. I really enjoy this opportunity, and I always wanted to do it, and I got the opportunity, and I've loved it. And I think that the candidates that I've helped teach and that I've been with in the workshops, they can see that.
I couldn't agree with you more. Being both a session leader as well as a candidate at one point, you can tell when people are show up and want to be there. And we can tell too as session leaders, the people that show up and are open to wanting to be there. And that can be really exciting and rewarding. So kudos to you for knowing what you want and chasing after it and being patient, knowing that it wasn't an overnight process. All right, Jaden, what is a rewarding experience that you have had as a CPAWSB educator?
There's been a lot. I've talked a little bit to candidates before about this, but something that has always meant a lot to me is when I get the feedback after a session. Candidates are often asked to provide feedback about the course and to the session leader, and I'm able to read some of those comments. And reading through that and reading these candidates who anonymously provide these comments to say that they loved having me as their session leader, or that they hope that they get me again, just obviously that is really rewarding and really makes me feel like I'm making a difference. I think though that more rewarding than that though has been there's been opportunities where candidates still have questions. We go through a workshop or whatnot, and I tell the candidates like, hey, you know what? I'll be here during your lunch break if you want to come and chat or visit with me or after the workshop. And some of them do. And watching them go from confused to grasping the concept is always, it's a thrilling experience for me as an educator. And it's just great to see them come to me confused and uncertain and leave with a smile on their face because they get it. It clicked. They finally had the confidence to ask the question, and they got it, and it clicks. And now they have that confidence going into the exam or the case, or whatever it is that they're concerned about.
So Jaden, when you're not teaching for the school, what might we find you doing?
Well, 99% of that time is probably going to be spent with my family. I've got 3 young kids. They're ages 6, 4, and 2. So they definitely keep me on my toes and keep me busy. 100% why I have to be at an office, and working from home isn't so easy for me. But yeah, lots of time with the family, outdoors, hiking. My kids love the park, so I'm often out there with them, or at least trying to make sure they don't hurt themselves. You know how kids are. So that's a lot. And then when I do have some downtime and they're in bed and the house is actually clean, once we clean up the tornado of children's toys, board games, movies, just something to try to refresh before the next busy day.